I want you to think about the person I was 5 years ago, not the person you see today, right? In front of the Rolls Royce, the money, the freedom, both my dream cars, got this, got the Ferrari, got my wife in a Porsche. You know, she doesn't work anymore. I get to raise a family, get to spend time with my family every single day. We got the English Bulldog in the front seat chilling, my best friend over here. Not that person. I want you to think about who I was 5 years ago. And if you don't know me, my name's Tyson Smith, and 5 years ago, I just graduated college, right smack dab in the middle of COVID, broke, unhappy, terrible fucking habits, and no idea what I was gonna do with my life. I thought I had done everything correct. I went to college, I worked hard in high school, I got a scholarship, I went to college, I studied finance, thought I was gonna be like an investment banker in real estate. And then, I got the summer internship at this prestigious real estate firm. I loved it, the vibes were so cool. It was like Wolf of Wall Street, right? Bunch of guys walking around, on the phone, practicing their putts, beers on Friday, people making a lot of money. I was like, dude, this is perfect. And then I graduate in 2020 and everything is shut down. The whole world flips upside down, it's in standstill, right? I get that dreaded call, because I thought they had given me a full-time offer. They're like, hey, there's no spots for you anymore. Nobody's doing deals right now. Sorry. And all of a sudden I was at square one. I had a finance degree. Nobody was hiring for that. Everything was completely shut down. The world was on fire, essentially. I had tried being a realtor before. I had actually gotten my real estate license and tried doing traditional real estate, and I absolutely hated it. I spent an entire summer doing that, and I did one deal, sold one guy's house. It was this piece of crap mobile home, and I made $1,000. Entire summer's worth of work, I made $1,000. I was like, I'm not going back to that, man. And I didn't know what to do. And then, luckily, it was kind of like the perfect storm, because two things happened. Number one, my dad suggested, hey, why don't we try wholesaling? Now, if you don't know, the story of my dad, his business had been shut down, and, he had gotten his real estate license. That's why I tried being a realtor. And he was like, let's try this wholesaling thing, man. I basically, he had learned about wholesaling from a friend, and he ended up doing one deal. It was this deal he was supposed to list and do the traditional thing, but somebody had approached him and was like, oh no, you can do this wholesaling thing with that. And he ended up doing that. And, he made like $20,000 on the deal or something like that. And he told me about it. And at first I was like, nah, man, I'm not really interested, right? Remember, I'd already tried being a realtor, and I was like, dude, I don't want to do that. But he's like, no, man, this is different. I'm telling you. I was like, no. And, basically a couple months went by, and I'd started seeing people talk about wholesaling on like TikTok and Instagram, and seeing these people, and they're flashing these big checks. They had the kind of cars I want to drive. They got the watches. I'm like, all right, maybe there's something here. And so those two things combined, plus the fact that I was literally just shit out of options, was when all of a sudden, May of 2020, I decided to go all in. I was like, all right, I'm gonna give this thing a shot, because I really don't have any other choice. All right, I'm fresh out of college. It's real lifetime, okay? Now, if you don't understand, man, when I was in college, I was a degenerate, bro. Here's how my week went. Sunday had to lock in new school. Monday had to lock in new school. Tuesday was T-shirt Tuesday at the University of Alabama. We're going out. Wednesday, wine Wednesday, Colette's. I was going out. Thursday, that's pre-Friday. I'm going out. Friday's Friday. Saturday, we're having a darty. It's a game day, whatever it is, right? So I'm going out drinking hard 5 days a week. And you know what? I had a blast. Now, I wouldn't change it for anything. I'm not saying, I'm not trying to clown on that. But basically, that was kind of my habits at the time. It was fine for a while, right? Because it's easy to be cool in college. You just be in the right fraternity, go out, have some friends, whatever. But now I was in real life, and I wanted to be cool in real life too. I didn't want to be some, hang it up, count on the glory days, just always looking back at the best years of my life. No, I wanted my life to keep going up. So I had to lock in, I had to figure it out. And like I said, it was May of 2020 is when I decided. I was like, look, I'm gonna lock in. I stopped drinking. I stopped vaping. Now, I still don't vape, but I stopped drinking for a while, and I got in the best shape of my life. I got, my hormones figured out, everything, and I just locked in. I said, all right, I'm gonna grab this wholesaling thing by the balls and make it work. That's what I did, man. I watched everything I could find on YouTube. I was listening to podcasts. I was reading books, sales books, real estate books, wholesaling books, everything, just literally just dialed in. This all started in May of 2020. 2 months in, I closed my first deal. It's this collection of 4 properties on one piece of land in Ajo, Arizona, which, if you're not familiar, Ajo, Arizona is on the border of Mexico. It's essentially Mexico. It's 3 houses that are literal drug dens, and the one they'd kind of been renovated, they had a renter in, and I got them under contract for $25,000. Now listen, when I had talked to this guy and kind of made him the verbal offer on the phone, and it seemed like it was gonna happen, I got in my car and I drove 3 hours straight to Ajo like that. We sat there, talked, we walked the houses, I took some pictures, and he was like, all right, you wanna come to my house? He had a nice house over over there, kind of. And we sat down, his wife gave us some water, and he like had to help me fill out the contract. Like, that's how little I knew. Like, I was literally like, I don't even know what to put here. He's like, yeah, you just do this. And I was like, okay, well, whatever. And I kind of stumbled my way into my first deal. And you know what? On my way home, on the drive back home, I started calling some people, because during those first 2 months, you know, I was going to these real estate investor meetups. I was completely immersed myself in the community, right? And I knew this guy who'd been doing wholesale deals, and I called him up and I was like, hey, got this deal in Ajo. I got this contract. You know, do you know anybody buying in Ajo? He's like, yeah, I actually do. You know, send me over the details when you go home. And you know what? He ended up finding a buyer. So I got it under contract for $25,000. He ended up selling it for $55,000, and we split that. So he made $15,000, I made $15,000. And man, I'll tell you right now, that is the second richest I've ever felt in my life. We'll get to my first richest in a second, but that's the second richest I ever felt in my life when I got that $15,000 check. Dude, I had never had more than $2,000 in my bank account ever before. And the only reason I had $2,000 in my bank account was because in 2020, the government gave out these stimulus checks for $2,000. So that's the only reason I'd ever had $2K. And man, I closed that deal for $15,000 and my life changed. Because I knew, man, if I could do this one time, what's to stop me from doing 100 times? That's exactly what I did. Now listen, here's the difference between me and most people. When I did get that $15K check, I went and blew some of it. I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you, right? It's kind of embarrassing, but I went to the Burberry store and I bought a Burberry t-shirt because I thought it was so sick. Like, you know, I had friends at the time who, like, you know, they had more money than I did and they were able to wear these, you know, designer shirts. I thought it was cool, whatever. It's stupid now. I don't fucking wear designer clothing. I went and got this Burberry t-shirt, but besides that, was I locked in and I put every dollar back in the business, reinvested in marketing and reinvested in mentorships, courses, trainings. One deal became two became three became four. And in between May of 2020 and December 31st of 2020, I did just shy of $400,000 in assignment fees. It was like $250K actual profit. Now, at that job I had lined up, that commercial real estate firm, I would have been stoked if I would have made like 70, 75K. But I went and did almost 400K. And it's because of two things, man. Number one, I made the decision to lock in, right? Like I said, man, I put the party in. It was just, hey, look, I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna be with my girlfriend, and like that was it. All of a sudden, the next year, 2021, did over $1 million. So there's the story about the first richest. So remember, I got started in May of 2020. May of 2021, I closed a deal where I made over $100,000 on a single deal. It's like 129K. I went and bought this watch to celebrate. It's always been my dream watch. You know, I get clowned for this because people are like, oh, you know, you live in a mansion, you drive a Rolls, yet you still wear a entry-level Rolex. It's a Rolex No-Date Submariner. It's always been my dream watch, man. When I was in high school, I was like, dude, one day, man, maybe I'll be able to get that. When I was in college, like, one day, maybe I'll be able to get that. You know, who knows? I'll be like 40 years old, I'll be able to get that. But nah, man, first year out of college, I was able to go buy it. And that's why I still wear it. It's still a dream watch, man. So that very next year, dude, I did over $1 million. All of a sudden, I got the Rollie. I bought myself a Porsche 911. That's how fast things happen. It's like I went from no idea what I was gonna do, then I took a chance on myself, learned this thing called wholesaling, and I just locked in, meaning I just decided, like, I made a commitment to myself. See, something I didn't really explain to you guys was, like, I just got sick of who I was. Like, you know, I had these bad habits of just like partying all the time, but I wasn't getting anywhere after that. Like, that wasn't gonna make me any money. And like Disneyland of like being a fraternity in college was gone. Like, it was time to, like, dude, if I was gonna advance and progress in life, it was like, I'd figure something out. And so I was like, dude, that old me needs to die and I need to become the new me, right? I needed to become somebody who was capable of doing the things I wanted to do. And so, you know, that's what I had to do for a period of time. Now, since then, you know, obviously, you know, I really like went serious for like 2 years, right? Where I wasn't drinking anything like that. I was just in go mode. I was like, if I'm not getting close to my goals, then it doesn't matter. Because I was able to just say, yo, I'm gonna commit to this. I'm gonna be serious, and every single day, I'm gonna get closer to my goals. And number two was, I was gonna reinvest heavily in myself. Guys, in those first 2 years, I spent close to $300,000 on mentorships, masterminds, courses, sales training, you know, events, anything there was, man, that I thought could help me make more money. Write a check, let's do it. Closed a $25,000 deal, bought a $25,000 mentorship. I had a mentor that I was paying fucking $85,000 to. I found people who were at the level I wanted to get to, and I said, well, hey, what's it cost for you to show me what you do? I didn't want to wait in line, right? I wanted to take the elevator exactly to the top. Like, hey, why do I go? I'm not going to spend time trying to reinvent the wheel here. Somebody's already figured it out. Let me go ask them. That's what I did, man. And that's what allowed me to get to where I was when I was, you know, closing more than 100K every single month. And it was that combined with working hard. I found found the people who were living the life I wanted to live, and I was willing to just implement what they told me. And that's what allowed me to beat everybody else. Nowadays, dude, my business runs without me. I mean, Blake handles a lot of like the high level fulfillment stuff. He's like the COO of the business. I have somebody else who runs it as the CEO, close friend of mine, he's taking charge of that. I'm not in the day-to-day at all. Like, I don't even know how many contracts we bought today or what we sold. All I know is once a week on Mondays, I get on a call, I check it out. Okay, we got these deals, these deals, these deals. This just got sold. This just came in. Here's how many leads we got. Here's what the KPIs are. What do we think we should do? What's the plan? What's next? And I just make decisions on that. I'm able to spend my time doing other things, right? I'm able to close deals while literally I'm playing golf. I get to live the life of a retired man. Like the other day, just on a whim because I wanted to, I took a call while I was playing World of Warcraft and closed a deal. That's what I get to do now. I just get to have fun with it at this point. But it's not like it happened overnight. I got to that point because I did all the work before. The message I want to leave you guys, what I want you guys to really understand is that success in wholesaling comes in tidal waves, but you have to make it out of the mud first. Like at first you are in the trenches. When you're first getting that first deal, it's tough, all right? There were times I wanted to give up during those first 2 months. Like, you don't understand, man. I remember it was like a month in, I talked to this lady, right? I've been making calls every single day, at least 1,000 calls every single day. And I talked to this lady and she said she wanted to sell, and I talked to her and I realized, from having these questions, I was like, this is a deal. Like the prices she was talking, I'm looking on the internet on Zillow and like, I can tell like it's a deal here. It was like a $30,000 deal. And I already knew who I could sell it to, everything like that. We go to the end and I make her an offer and she accepts it. And she's like, hey, how about we get together tomorrow? We can go over the paperwork, everything like that. I said, sounds good. I'll tell you what, I'll call you tomorrow. We'll get it ironed out, make sure you're still good at the time, everything like that. And she said, okay, sounds good. I mean, I went to sleep that I could barely sleep. I was like, oh my God, like I got a deal here. And in the morning, I gave her a call, no answer. Shot her a text, no answer. Waited a little bit, waited an hour, called her again, no answer. Shot her a text, no answer. Now I'm freaking out. I remember I called her like 4 times in a row and just nothing. And I'm just like, oh shit, dude, what's going on here? Eventually she calls me back. She says, Tyson, thank you so much. It was so nice talking to you. But after we spoke last night, somebody else ended up calling me, and you know what? They just sent me a contract over the email and I got the, I ended up selling it to them. But I want to say thank you. Like, I really appreciate your help, whatever. Like, dude, it was like, it's been a month, right? Guys, think about this. If 6 days a week, you're making 1,000 calls a day, and a month later, you feel you're this close, you can almost taste it. It's just ripped out of your hands. Like, I wanted to cry, man. Like, I wanted to give up. Honestly, I went home, I was like, fuck this. I was like a step away from, putting together the old resume, hitting Indeed and LinkedIn and just trying to figure it out again. But the thing I realized was, only way I lose if I do quit, right? Getting that first deal is hard, but once you close that first deal, everything opens up. Because you need to understand something. When you're working towards that first deal, when you finally do close it, you're getting paid in 2 ways. Number one, you're getting paid in money. Because you're going to close a wholesale deal, you're going to make 15, 20, 25, 30 grand, whatever it is. Now you're going to have some dry powder, all right, as we call it, some money to play around with, to reinvest in the business, get some marketing, things like that. But number two is you're going to have all that experience under your belt, all those calls you made, all those offers you made that didn't turn out, all those houses you analyzed, all of that stuff compounds. Before you get paid in money, you're getting paid in experience. And it's once you close that first deal and you have that experience and you have that dry powder, you have that money, that's what makes closing your second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th deal. That's what's the coolest thing about my program, Virtual Flip Formula. I see these people close their first deal and I just get to watch them take off. It's the most exciting thing, dude. Either way, you've got 2 roads in front of you. You got 2 paths you can take. Either you can do what I did, go figure it out the freeway. There's everything you need on YouTube, man. I got a 3-hour-long course teaching you everything you need to know. There are podcasts, there are great books out there. There's amazing resources. Go study it, go take action, and it'll eventually work out for you. It might take a little longer, but it's possible. The other way, I can show you exactly what to do and guarantee you that you close your first deal in the next 90 days. I will sit with you. I will build a plan for you. I'll help you pick the best market. I'll build you a marketing plan. I'll teach you exactly how you're going to find leads depending on you, your situation, your marketing budget. I'll analyze all your deals. I'll teach you how to close deals over the phone. We'll help you find a buyer for your first deal. You'll get it closed. Everything will be good. In 90 days or less, guaranteed. Either way, what's important is that you decide to take action. So if that's you on the second thing, the link's in the description below. Go ahead and click it, fill out the application. We'll be in touch. We'll see if it's a good fit. If you're the first option, it's time to get started. Either you can go watch my stuff that I have on this channel. You can go watch somebody else's. There's plenty of great stuff out there. But the biggest thing is that you take action. Guys, there's only 2 months left of this year. And then 2025 is gone forever. It's up to you. If 2026 is going to be the same, Or is the game of the year everything changes for you? I hope it's the latter. If you enjoyed this, leave it a like, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you on the next one.